what was the worst Super Bowl ad yesterday? Here to talk about it is Collin Levy, our senior editorial writer in Washington. Collin, thanks for joining us.
Hi, James.
So we were talking earlier about the Clint Eastwood ad for Chrysler, which you could argue was the best or the worst or maybe both of the Super Bowl ads. But there's another ad, and this was not a national ad. This was in some local Michigan TV markets that certainly has a claim to be the worst ad.
I think it probably does have the claim for the worst ad, at least of the year, if not previous years. This was an ad that Pete Hoekstra is running against Debbie Stabenow in the race for Senate, and it basically it was intended to, sort of be a blow against her China policy and against her basically fiscal profligacy. But instead, what it's really done is light a bit of a racial fire under this campaign for its use of imagery.
Right. Okay. Now I think we're gonna see the ad here. So let's play a clip of this ad, and then we'll talk about it a little more. This is Pete Hoekstra, the Republican, running against the incumbent Democratic senator in Michigan. Here's the ad.
Thank you, Michigan Senator Debbie Spend It Now. Debbie spends so much American money. You borrow more and more from us. Your economy get very weak. Ours get very good. We take your jobs. Thank you, Debbie Spend It Now.
I think this race for U.S. Senate is between Debbie Spend It Now and Pete Spend It Not. I'm Pete Spend It Not Hoekstra, and I approve this message.
Collin, I'm guessing that having the actress employ broken English in this ad was not the most sensitive move in this case.
I mean, honestly, the whole thing is just awful. Let's be honest about it. I mean, not only, first of all, if you want to portray, let's go to the big picture issue first here, which is if you want to portray China as this hulking, unpleasant threat to the American economy, here you have a woman who's, in many ways, this appealing, rural, friendly-looking woman who's saying, we're getting your job. So what are we supposed to look at that and say, oh, no, we definitely don't want her to get any jobs. Let's make sure that she suffers. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, quite aside from the fact that they've sort of used this pidgin English in a really awkward way. And here she's saying, Debbie Spend It Now. I mean, just none of it really makes particularly much sense in addition to its awkwardness. I can't imagine who was responsible for it.
We have very little time left. Pete Hoekstra, I don't want to say desperate, but this certainly doesn't seem like what you would put out for a campaign that kind of was firing on all cylinders to keep our Michigan analogies going. Real quickly, any sense of is he likely to be the nominee?
Well, I think he probably is likely to be the nominee, but I think one thing we have to remember here is that, everyone's always been dinging him for the fact that he's a lousy fundraiser, and here he actually raised a bit more money in the last quarter, $1 million, outraised his rivals, Republican rivals.
Okay, we got to go.
Just goes to show you don't spend it right.
Okay, thanks, Collin.